In the Golden State Warriors today by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Senior. No matter where you're watching or how you're watching, thank you so much for making today's show a part of your day. We have a loaded show on tap for you, and we start off with this question. Should and will the Golden State Warriors draft Kai Sotto out of the Philippines in the first or second round of June's NBA draft? Now, as for the Warriors draft picks and where they're going to be selecting come June 23rd, that's when the NBA draft is going to take place. They have a first-round pick at 28th overall, even though they're bound to go to the NBA Finals, and then 2 second-round picks at 51 as well as 55. Now, I don't think it's a good idea to draft and pinpoint Kai Sotto in the first round at 28th overall. I do think there will be an opportunity to maybe select him when the 51st overall selection comes around and maybe even the 55th overall pick. Now, throughout today's show, we'll give you a scouting breakdown of Kai Sotto because he certainly is an intriguing prospect in this draft class, and his potential is enormous, especially considering the fact that the Golden State Warriors do as good of a job among all teams in the NBA of developing talent, and they have a need to fulfill in that front court with depth that Kai Sotto would be able to fulfill. And if he has to play at the NBA G League level, that's fine, because down the road, this guy could be an impactful rotational backup big man. As for Kai Sotto and what's going on with his pre-draft process, this coming from Philstar Global, a Filipino publication, according to his agent, Joel Bell, NBA scouts were, quote, very enthusiastic about the 7'3" big man and had even secured a guarantee with one team that they will pick Kai Sotto once the draft rolls on. Now, that looks as though it's a potential mystery team that is going to select Kai Sotto. Could one of those teams be the Golden State Warriors? Not only do they do a good job of identifying talent in the middle to later portions of the first round, as well as finding impactful players in the second round, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. They do a really good job of finding talent in the international pool as well, so I can guarantee you they've done some research, they've done some intel on Kai Sotto. As for what his agent had to say about some of these interested teams in the polarizing prospect, his agent said teams that scouted Australia this year, because he's playing for the New Zealand Breakers, good day, mate, which surprisingly, given the history of Australia, sending players to the NBA is not as extensive as one might imagine. We're very enthusiastic about Kai. That's why we have so many teams that want to bring him in for individual workouts, and we actually already have commitments from at least one team that said if he stays in the draft, we will draft him. We have that already. So it looks as though Kai Sotto has at least one team that is interested in taking him. And I don't think he's going to be a first-round pick, which might be good news for the Warriors if they do want to select him in the second round with one of those 2 second-round picks. Of course, he does have the opportunity to continue to play internationally. He's been playing in Australia in the NBL, which is one of the best international leagues in the world. And that is a good level of competition for him to measure up against to see if he can play at the NBA level. And if he can't, then he can just go back to playing international hoops to work on his game just a little bit. Now, I want to ask you a question about Kai Sotto, because I know we have a lot of people who are tuned in from the Philippines, and this would be a Filipino making it to the NBA. I understand that Jalen Green last year has Filipino ties to his family, but we're talking about a true Filipino here in Kai Sotto, and a lot of our fan base is dedicated and tuned in from the Philippines. So do you want the Warriors to draft Sotto? I want you to like the video and hit that thumbs up icon for yes. If you don't want the Warriors to draft him, I want you to comment why right now in the comment section.